boy Mr. Stocks on the Go, and we are back with a brand new video, guys. Please go ahead, smash that like button. Let's get this video to 30 likes. And also, if you'd like to support this channel, guys, please do remember to check out the link in the description. It will also be pinned in the comment section, guys, for Wealthsimple Trade. Whereas if you sign up using my referral code and make your first deposit, guys, that deposit could be as little as $1. You will receive $25 to help you out on your investment journey. So now that we got that out the way, guys, let's jump straight into today's topic: 5 monthly paying dividend ETFs. So the first ETF on the list of monthly payers, guys, is XEI, the iShares S&P TSX Composite High Dividend Index ETF. Yeah, I know it's pretty long, and it's currently sitting at $24.86 Canadian. And 3 reasons you might want to consider investing in this ETF, guys. It's number 1, pays a monthly dividend income. Number 2, low cost. And number 3, designed to be a long-term foundational holding. So the investment objective seeks long-term capital growth by replicating the performance of the S&P TSX Composite High Dividend Index, net of expenses. And as you can see on the screen, guys, the risk indicator on this ETF is marked as medium. All right, so next off, let's jump into the exposure breakdowns. And as you can see, guys, this ETF is heavily weighted in the financial and energy sectors, guys, with financials coming in at 30.35%, energy coming in at 29.93%, utilities at 17.31%, communications at 10.4%, real estate 6.34%, materials 1.68%, consumer discretionary 1.4%, industrials 1.17%, healthcare 0.63%, cash 0.45%, consumer staples 0.31%. And finally, guys, let's jump into the top 10 holdings. As you can see, number 1, Suncor Energy. Number 2, Royal Bank of Canada. Number 3, Canadian Natural Resources. Number 4, Enbridge. Number 5, TC Energy. Number 6, Toronto Dominion. Number 7, Bell Canada. Number 8, Bank of Montreal. Number 9, TELUS. And number 10, Fortis Inc. Management fees for XEI, guys, is 0.20%. And management expense ratio is 0.22%. All right, guys, so on to the next monthly paying dividend ETF on my list, and that would have to go to VDY. And as you can see, guys, the management fees of both these ETFs are pretty much identical, with VDY management fees at 0.20% and management expense ratio 0.22%. VDY is currently trading at $42.41 Canadian. So let's take a look at 3 reasons that you might consider investing in this ETF, guys. It seeks to track the performance of the FTSE Canadian High Dividend Yield Index to an extent possible before fees and expenses. Number 3, employs a passively managed, fully replicated index strategy to provide exposure to Canadian large, mid, and small cap stocks diversified across all industries. Number 3, uses efficient, cost-effective index management techniques. And if we take a look at the sector breakdown of this ETF, guys, we'll see that it's very similar to XEI, where they are both heavily weighted in financials and energy. So for VDY, guys, in financials, we have 54%. In energy, we have 29%. Telecommunications 7%, utilities 5%, consumer discretionary 4%, basic materials 1%, industrials 0.23%, and real estate 0.2%. And if we take a look at the top 10 holdings in this ETF, guys, we'll see that they have Royal Bank, Toronto Dominion, Enbridge, Canadian Natural Resources, Bank of Montreal, Bank of Nova Scotia, Suncor Energy, TC Energy, Manulife, and Canadian Imperial Bank. All right, guys, so number 3 on my list of monthly paying dividend ETFs would definitely have to go to VRE. All right, guys, and that is the Vanguard FTSE Canadian Capped REIT Index ETF. And as you can see, guys, VRE is currently sitting at $30.30 Canadian. And if we check out the management fees, guys, we'll see that it's a little more expensive than the previous two ETFs that I mentioned, with a management fee of 0.35% and management expense ratio of 0.40%. So, 3 reasons you might consider investing in this ETF, guys. It seeks to track the performance of the FTSE Canadian All Cap Real Estate Capped 25% Index to the extent possible and before fees and expenses. Number 2, employs passively managed, fully replicated index strategy to provide exposure to Canadian large, mid, and small cap stocks in the real estate industry. Number 3, uses efficient, cost effective index management techniques. So, guys, if we take a look at the sector breakdown, we'll see that retail REITs come in at 22.78%, real estate services come in at 22.25%, residential REITs 18%, industrial REITs 12%, real estate holding and development 9%, office REITs 8%, diversified REITs 5%, and healthcare REITs 1%. Now let's head over to the holdings, guys. Number 1, First Service Corp 14%, Canadian Apartment Properties REIT 13%, RioCan Real Estate Investment 9%, Coilers International Group 7%, Granite Real Estate Investment Trust 7%, Choice Properties Real Estate Investment Trust 5%, Dream Industrials Real Estate Investment Trust 5%, Smart Centers Real Estate Investment Trust 5%, First Capital Real Estate Investment Trust 5%, and Tricon Residential Inc. 4%. All right, guys, so we are at number 4 on my list of monthly paying dividend ETFs. And if you've made it this far in the video, guys, I want to give you a special thank you. Please just make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. So number 4 is none other than FEI, and that's the iShares Canadian Financial Monthly Income ETF. And as you can see, guys, FEI is currently sitting at $6.83 Canadian. This ETF also has a management fee of 0.65% and management expense ratio of 0.85%. Also, the risk indicator has this ETF at medium risk. And here's 3 reasons you might consider investing in this ETF. Number 1, diversified portfolio consisting primarily of common shares, preferred shares, corporate bonds, and income trust units of issuers in Canadian financial sector. Number 2, targeted exposure to Canadian financial services sector. Number 3, earn regular monthly dividend income. Also, the investment objective of this ETF, guys, seeks to maximize total returns and provide a stable stream of monthly cash distribution. And if we take a look at the sector breakdown, guys, we'll see that banks come in at number 1 with 44%, insurance 27%, financial services 8%, energy 5%, utilities 3%, real estate 3%, telecommunications 2%, real estate management and development 1%, commercial and professional services 0.91%, cash 0.69%, transportation 0.67%, consumer staples, distribution and retail 0.53%. So if we take a look at the holdings, guys, we'll see that number 1 is the iShares S&P TSX Canadian Preferred ETF. Number 2 is the iShares Core Canadian Bond Index ETF. Number 3, Royal Bank. Number 4, Manulife. Number 5, Canadian Imperial Bank. Number 6, Toronto Dominion Bank. Number 7, National Bank. Number 8, Bank of Montreal. Number 9, Fairfax Financial Holdings. And number 10, Bank of Nova Scotia. So guys, we have made it to the number 5 spot on my list of monthly paying dividend ETFs, and that would have to go to none other than HBNK, the Horizon Equal Weight Banks Index ETF. And as you can see, guys, HBNK is currently sitting at $20.50 Canadian, and it currently has a risk rating of medium. And what's intriguing about this ETF, guys, it has a management fee of 0.00%. Yes, that's right, absolutely free up until July the 31st of 2024. And even then, guys, the management fees are going to be 0.09%, guys, which is still lower than all the other equal weight bank ETFs on the market currently. All right, guys, and one of the reasons you should consider this ETF would be if you wanted to diversify into the Canadian financial sectors without having to actually purchase individual bank stocks and then having to reallocate them yourself. That might be a bit time consuming for someone who just does not have the time. So on the other hand, this ETF would do all that work for you, does the reallocating, and at a very reasonable price. So now let's jump into the holdings. And as you can see, they have Toronto Dominion Bank at 16%, Royal Bank at 16%, National Bank 16%, Canadian Imperial Bank 16%, Bank of Nova Scotia 16%, and Bank of Montreal 16%. As you can see, guys, it's pretty self-explanatory. Equal weight bank ETF, 16% straight across the board. All right, guys, so you have made it to the end of the video. You know, it's your boy, Mr. Stocks on the Go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I do truly appreciate you guys turning up every day, commenting in the comment section so we can chop it up. Happy Saturday, guys. Stay invested, stay building out that generational wealth. I am out.